hit with it. I drained a 40-foot bomb for birdie.
Meant to be.
And I was like, enjoy. But I haven't charged him yet because I might want to call it back someday.
It's right. You can't just say it's on loan.
It's on loan. I have so many clubs on loan to people. It's not even funny.
Over generous. That's in the same way. I'm like, hey, but it's nice to say like, hey, you owe me, don't you still owe me like $700?
Yeah.
Like, huh? What do you mean?
Alex Flores is playing my old Callaway CBs.
I played a couple times like that. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So I tried the whole lab thing, and then I kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And just there was always something that I just didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't like. I thought the heel shaft one would be the shit. Like I thought it would solve kind of
what you were.
You know what I mean? I just didn't
yeah.
see it. That Link one that I had first is not it.
Yeah.
And so I had that one. I really tried to make it work, but then I realized that, like, just as a lunatic, I could not flip them. I don't think flipping them is the right word, but I can make about as much as I paid off of them to sell them.
Yeah.
So I kept going back, and I've always gone back to that putter.
Your even roll?
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'll either make nothing or make everything, and then finally. Today will be the day where I putt with the potato masher. So I putted on the putting green with it last night. I feel pretty good about it, but it's one of those things that like the putting green doesn't, it doesn't, it's not the same. It's like there's something about it where I'm like, oh, I make everything. And then you go out there and it's a little different, right? It's like it matters.
Yeah. That's why, do you notice fast greens, slow greens? Would you easily adjust? Yeah.
So
because this handles everything, but especially fast greens.
The faster the greens are, the more I believe those give you an advantage. Because again, my beef was open the door, close the door, right? So I always played the ball outside of my eyes with a slant neck, so that open the door, close the door, right? And then when I got this video of myself putting, I was like,
how far away you were?
Oh my God. It was like a fucking climb, dude. I was like, like the ball was like here and my putter, and I'm like this. And I was like, no one, it's feast or famine. It was either everything going in or I couldn't sniff it.
I had this opposite, bro. I felt comfortable being my eyes on
like Steve Stricker
all over, like on the other side of the ball, looking backwards almost.
They made like the 88-degree rule because of Steve Stricker, because he was like, I want to go 91,
and then Amanda goes, dude, your eyes are way over the ball. And I go, huh. And so then I get a little more upright and I get a little taller. So this is 35 and a half, might be 36. I think it's 35 and a half. And then it was just, I felt like I was in that same position, but now my eyes were in the perfect spot.
I know.
And it was just roll it. Just rock it.
Have you ever seen those putting mirrors?
I have one on my back. Yeah. I use it.
So I had one and I just never connected the dots, right?
Yeah.
So when I went to 32 and a half and I looked at the putting mirror, it was like, aha, that's what I look like.
Yeah.
That's my face. So it made a huge fucking difference.
Yeah.
I mean, a huge, start line actually felt like I had a chance.
Yeah.
Can I tag in?
Is that a hot toddy?
Close. When I say close, I mean not at all.
Not at all. All right, have fun.
Okay.
Jesus, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll run into you.
Oh, guaranteed.
Now
No.
that we've officially met, we'll see each other like 5 times a day.
Yeah. The mustard's off the hot dog, so to speak.
That's what they say. Yeah, man. Hi. Isn't it cool to make a new
me?
friend? Yeah.
I was like, who's over there? Me?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's been an interesting year. Because I've kind of inserted myself a little bit more into the Taman scene.
Absolutely. I was thinking about that when I was just driving back down just now, about our introduction with each other and how there was zero hesitation with when you approached me the first time.
Yeah.
I think I had heard about you once, but then you came off the golf course, came straight up to me, and you were like, I'm Clark. Well, let's talk clubs.
Yeah.
So I just love that.
We had met a couple times, but like I feel like it was one of those things where we felt like maybe that we were like we had a conversation or something at one point, and I was always like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah,
you know, and I was like, "Oh,"
yeah.
because you're from Memphis, right?
Yes.
So yeah,
and you being over there, it was South Carolina or North Carolina?
So my family lived in North Carolina. I was born in Baltimore. I grew up in Virginia, but for a long time I built retail stores all throughout the South.
Retail, like golf retail or
clothing
regular
retail?
Okay.
Yeah. And so my route was like Richmond, Virginia, Charleston, South Carolina, St. Augustine, Florida, Orlando, Charlotte, Memphis, Nashville,
and man.
Atlanta. I loved Memphis. Is one of my all-time favorite. I mean, it's like Atlanta, New Orleans, perfect mix. You know?
Yes.
Did you ever go to Ernestine and Hazel's?
No. So
it's the greatest place on earth.
So I need to, like, as an adult person who's had enough life experience to be able to appreciate areas where I had historically been trained not to go because it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
It's not unsafe. It just is.
Different.
Right. So like in our experience here, in the Bay Area, we're told a lot, don't go to the Tenderloin because it's not safe, but you're going to find some of the best shit ever in the Tenderloin. It's just like going to Oakland. People are like, oh, it's scary in Oakland, but Oakland's amazing. Yeah. Culturally amazing. And that's what it's like in Memphis. So as an adult now, I left when I was 24, so 20 years ago. I left and moved here.
20 years ago?
Yes.
Wow, so you've been here for 20
years?
Here
in Healdsburg for 20
Good
years.
Gravy. Okay.
Yeah. And now when I go back to Memphis, I go to where my best friend lives, which is in Arlington, which is a suburb of Memphis, but it's like 40 minutes east. It's not Memphis proper. And I never lived in Memphis proper. It's just easier to say I'm from Memphis because I'm actually from Bartlett, which is a suburb, a white suburbia.
Yeah.
Right. So when everybody's really excited about Memphis, I always feel kind of stupid because I'm like, well, I mean, I spent some time in downtown, but not a ton. Like went to Memphis in May every year and did the whole barbecue fest and went to the music festival, and I've spent some time on Beale Street, but not as like.
So we were in South Memphis, like the Arts District, was where the store was directly across from Ernestine and Hazel's, across the street. So as building stores, you work like. If the store's open, you work third shift, right? So you're working 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., which is an insane world.
No, nobody should do that. We're not.
No one should do that.
Yeah.
But Ernestine and Hazel's was a blast. Gus's fried chicken was.
Oh yeah, for sure. My dad grew up on Gus's fried chicken.
God, it was incredible.
Yeah.
But I was born in Baltimore, grew up in Alexandria, which was like 2 cities outside of DC.
Yeah.
So now, and then I lived in Atlanta in like. Essentially Kirkwood, which is like East Atlanta, like real downtown Atlanta. And now every time I meet someone, I'm like, well, where are you from? And they're like, I'm from DC. I'm like, where in DC?
Where?
And they're like, Manassas, Virginia. Same thing, right?
Totally.
Like where you're like, I'm from Memphis.
But
because everyone recognizes.
Because if you say Manassas or if you say Arlington, they'll probably have a correlation to Arlington, but
totally,
it's different
because it's DC, Arlington, Alexandria.
Yeah.
Arlington is like the military town.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because I'm like, Atlanta, where? And they're like, oh, Marietta.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because immediately I'm like, which I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that level of judgment, but it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But I do. My family lived in Charleston, and then they moved to Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Which is right next to Pinehurst. So when I was taking care of my parents, I didn't realize that they were in Pinehurst.
There.
I was like, there's so many golf courses because I would just fly in and help out. And then after they passed, my sister lives there. And so now I try and go like twice a year just to touch all the bases.
Just to touch them all, yeah. Everybody, welcome back to Greenside Chats. This is my buddy Clark Titus, golfer, club fitter aficionado. And he was visiting finally with our other buddy, Fairway Jesus, who was on the podcast a couple of months ago.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Yeah, Maddie's a gangster too. So, anyways, I wanted to have you on because I think your story about your experience with golf is really interesting. And for those of us that have played enough competitive golf and been in the business long enough to get burnout and then realize that, oh, I actually really like it. I just need to change my lens, so to speak, on how I feel about it. That's why I think your story is interesting. So I would love for you to tell us about your first, maybe if you don't want to tell us your first memory, because I'm sure it was when you were a kid, but why don't you tell us about your, being a young golfer, playing in school, getting out of school, and then that journey to job, to then club fitter, teacher, and then being like, I'm out of here. I hate this.
Yeah. I think I played 2 years in high school because my dad was the golf coach. So growing up, my dad...
Southern Pines?
No, in Alexandria, Virginia, at a private school.
Okay, so by then, so at this point, you're up there. All
so
right.
we're in Northern Virginia. My dad was a math teacher, and he was just the great. I mean, he was like Chevy Chase. He was the greatest, hilarious guy. Huge, 6'4", 220 pounds, just big. Loved everybody, talked to everybody. He was a math teacher, and he taught at a really, really good private school in Northern Virginia. So I got to go there free, which was nice. I went there from K through 12. I think somewhere around 10th and 11th grade, I figured if I played on the golf team, I could smoke cigarettes and my dad would let me. So I was like, this is cool, right?
Is that because as a cultural thing with the team, dad and the players are just out there?
Not the players, just me. So my dad was hilarious. He would tell like all the teachers and stuff that my son is allowed to smoke because if he doesn't smoke, he'll get sick. And I remember being like, you're absolutely fucking hilarious.
What?
Right? He was just a super funny guy, and he always smoked, and he smoked a pipe and was obsessed with golf. And I don't know where it came from, but it was really cool because being like in this very exclusive, wealthy private school, we were the family that got to go there for free.
Yeah.
Right? So like everyone's making shitloads of money and paying $40,000 a year for the kid to go to school.
Damn. And at that time, that's 28 years ago.
28. And my dad's probably making $40,000 a year, and I get to go to school for free. So it's a great, incredible
separation,
culture clash.
Yeah.
Which I think made me very comfortable with being in the realm of, just understanding the difference in class and not being put off by it. Knowing that you can kind of fit in anywhere if you're reasonably a good person. So I basically I played in high school, and then senior year decided I was going to go back to lacrosse. Didn't play golf after junior year for, at least 6 or 7 years. I was in Santa Barbara. Fast forward years later, I was a chef in a restaurant.
Okay.
Santa Barbara, California.
Yeah.
So from Virginia, growing up in high school, I went to Colorado. So here it's a convoluted fucking journey.
Yeah, I feel like if we actually had a map and we were drawing on the map,
it's like a bee.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like a 2-year-old got a crayon and just went everywhere.
So I have a pretty decent distinction of being the only person to go to 5 colleges.
Oh, one a year for 5 years? Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
One a year for like 12 years. Yeah, I just dragged it out as long as I could. But yeah, I bounced around. So I went to Colorado Boulder. That did not work out. Moved back to Virginia, went to a little community college, then went to an art school called VCU. Met my now wife. We met each other a week after she moved in.
Oh, wow.
She's, the greatest love story in history. She got into a photography school in Santa Barbara.
Oh,
California.
Yeah.
So I said, I'd never been to California, right? I was like, what the hell?
That sounds
Put the
great.
stuff in the car, drive out. And I got a job as a chef. And they were kind of bringing me along to be the replacement, sous chef at this Italian restaurant in Santa Barbara and Montecito.
Okay, hold on, because in all of this conversation we've had up to this point, we've not once talked about you making food.
Yeah.
Is that part of your background too? Like you went to school to do that? Or
I didn't
you
go to
were
school to
cook
do
somewhere
it.
and then you just...
I had done it as, I worked in restaurants as just growing up because that was
where you could get work.
low-hanging fruit, right?
100%.
I mean, I was working in restaurants as a host, and then I would kind of be a cook at a, Mongolian barbecue spot, just to pay the bills,
Oh, for sure.
I just kind of hustled. And so I fell into that job. I think I talked my way into it. And after like 8 months, I remember being so incredibly miserable. That it's so stressful.
Like, oh yeah, just making sure we're still alive.
So stressful, right?
Yes.
So I'm like grinding, cooking on 6 burners for all of these people, and I don't really know what the hell I was doing. I was just kind of bullshitting my way through it.
Totally.
So after 6 months, I just said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And so I quit, and I wanted to get a job where I was outside. So I went to the local Muni in Santa Barbara and got a job washing golf carts.
Hell yeah, man. Just like the rest of us.
But as an adult.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a different vibe for sure. Just like what you experienced when you're coming up here. You're like, you know what? I just need to be back outside.
I just need to be, I was an adult. Like I was like 20
You were 27,
something. Yeah.
28, something.
And so that's where it started again. And, I think what happens with golf is like, in those days, you either pay to play or you work to play.
Yeah.
Right? It was a definite dichotomy of kind of the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah. And those of us that never had have always worked to play.
And I think that goes back to your question of that is the real, I don't want to say trap, but that's the hard part, right? Because you get into the business because you want to play. You love the game.
You love it.
But the business can often take you away from playing and put you on the periphery of more experiential for everyone else.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I played a year at Santa Barbara City College, and then I got asked to move into the shop, played my PAT. Mm-hmm. And then after
Tell me, was that the easiest test you ever took in your life?
To me, it was an eye-opener.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure, because I never really thought of it like that, right? And so I was playing in Bakersfield, California at this crazy desert course, and I was playing with a guy, and I think I shot like 75, 69.
Yeah.
And was like, kind of, not like ho-hum, but I just don't remember it because I was so nervous. It was one of those like, grind, this is a big deal.
Yeah, you're working.
And I ended up finishing second. The guy I played with shot like 98, 96.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, this is such a different world.
A swing. When I took the PAT, and for the LPGA, it's different because you only played 18 holes. The day that I played, this is in 2007.
Yeah.
A million years ago, it feels like now.
I know.
But
not that long ago.
Not that long ago. But I went out there and I had been talking to my buddy, Brian, and I was telling him what was going on. And, it was like, they tell you can have a caddy. He's like, oh, I'll be your caddy. It's like, all right, cool. It was 105 degrees that day. And we're down at Alameda.
Where'd you play? Oh,
Alameda. Yeah. And I didn't really understand what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that going into the program, it was going to be lots of book work, and I knew I was going to have to go to Arizona and attend some trainings and get my level 1 and all these things. But when I went to do the PAT, and that was really to like become an apprentice.
Yeah, that was like, if you can't do this, you can't get in the program.
Get in.
So the pressure.
It was really interesting because that meant that the barrier to entry was all about your skill as a golfer, not really your knowledge of business or coaching or anything. It was like, can you perform? And ours is different. You only got to play 18 holes and you only need to shoot 85. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, I haven't played in a competition in a while, but I feel good as a golfer.
Yeah.
And that day, 105 degrees, Brian's on my bag, we're walking, and the woman that I get paired with is very anxious. And I step up on the tee, and I felt just like I did every friggin' competition in college. I was like, watch this.
Yeah.
And I bomb this tee shot down, that just like bombed it. And then that day, it was just like, oh, this is very familiar territory for me. I ended up shooting like 75 or 74.
Yeah.
Good number. The course didn't play long because they not set it up long because they want it to be agreeable for people that are trying to come in. And the woman I was playing with, she didn't make it. She shot over 85, and I don't know what she shot. I'm just gonna guess it was between 87 and 92. It was somewhere in there.
But it felt like a million.
It felt like a million.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
And it's not like I haven't done that in competition. I mean, I tell my students and adult people this all the time because they get all bent out of shape. You're like, I wish I was more consistent, or I wish I could shoot X, or I wish I was a single digit, whatever. I go out there and I play with these people and I get anxious and I shoot blah, 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 whatever. I was playing in a tournament at University of Alabama. Birmingham was hosting on one of the trails down in Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one.
RTJ or whatever.
Any of those. And the first day of the tournament, I shot 93. And so I always tell them, I'm like, look, the wheels can fall off for anybody.
But that's the thing.
It's just what you do the next day. And this was the thing too, is I was just having this conversation with a new friend that I made yesterday on Instagram. Garrison Starr, I think is her name. Anyways, she's a musician out of LA, and we were just, and she's from Memphis, so that's kind of how like our background. We were just connecting over that.
Immediate
connection.
Totally.
And I was like, where'd you go to school? And wherever it doesn't matter. But she was telling me, like, I just hate that I can't be consistent. And my conversation is always the same. People always come to me like, I wish I was more consistent. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Because that's very broad.
Totally.
If you are more consistent, does that mean that you hit the ball the exact same way every time? And I actually said this to her in the message. I was like, because that's fucking crazy. We're not robots.
Totally.
It's not about being consistent. It's about how you recover. And, Junior and I, we've played a handful of times in the last couple of weeks. You've said this in your life as a golfer.
Yeah.
I have. Matt has. All of us. Golf's a game of misses. It is actually how you recover.
Totally.
And so in that day when you shot, combined 146 or whatever, and I shot 74, we didn't hit every shot perfect.
No.
We hit some shots where we just skanked it down the fairway, missed a putt, missed a chip shot, can't get out of the sand, whatever the story. Yeah. But it's how you hit the next one.
Totally. I remember sniping one out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 steps outside of the white line. And I was like, that walk back to the tee, right? Where you're like, God bless it.
Freaking hurts,
Yeah. And could this be the end?
Yeah, is this
right?
it?
Like, am I
Did I just blow it here?
Right. Am I gonna not be able to find the fairway for the rest? But then it's like that quiet place. I think it really is allowing yourself permission to hit a bad shot.
Oh, totally.
Right? So instead of like this white knuckling trying to be perfect.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Just let it go. And that's the thing for I think the reason why I love it so much is it gives you a chance to be creative.
I say this all the time.
Yeah.
I say that exact thing all the time.
I don't want to be a robot. I want to
I need to be able to move it,
feel it, and shape it,
and maybe this experience was or this feeling about it, or this idea around it was developed when you were young. I was telling my friend Tim, who also played lacrosse. He was my last guest last week. Lacrosse player, all through high school, just like you. But hand-eye coordination really strong. But we always said the same. Well, he didn't. I don't know if he said this, but I said it to him. Because I spent so much time in the trees, I had to learn how to recover, first of all, and I also had to play around with shaping the ball out of the trees, which is actually so fun.
Well, I remember watching. Do you remember? I might be older than you, but do you remember they used to have this thing like around Thanksgiving? And I think it was called like the Skills Challenge, where they would put like guys like Chichi Rodriguez behind a tree, and they would have to hit like a 30-yard slice or a 30-yard hook to a target. And I remember being like, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It was like the original big break.
But it was like, it was like a paintbrush.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Where it's like, watch this guy control the golf ball. And I think now it's like, I went to, not to be like in my day, but like I went to, what was that Procore, the tournament that Brian was talking about?
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the one in Napa. And I was watching those guys play, and obviously they're spectacular.
Yes.
But like you stand behind them and it's like,
yep.
There's no, it's almost become so hard to curve the ball now that it's just like a draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you stand behind these guys with a driver who just smoke it like 180 ball speed, and it's like drop right a yard, drop left a yard. Whereas you remember, like you would hit these sizzlers that would like just go insanely off target.
It would move so
Yeah.
much, whether I wanted it to or
No, that's what
not.
I'm saying.
You know, like before I could figure out how to control the ball, it really was because, you know, we've really gone off a hard tangent here of like your exit from, you know, like how you started down the PGA and you were out there taking the PAT. We've really diverted for that, but you know,
a slight tangential turn.
But we've had a number of conversations like talking about the ball that we used to hit in the late 90s, the clubs that we were playing in the 90s, and which I think is compelling enough to talk about like you becoming a club fitter. I have to get a sweater. Hang on just a second.
Yeah.
But you becoming a club fitter.
I mean, basically self-inflicted, right? So
I think is really an interesting piece of your story because, you know, you went out, played the PAT.
okay, yeah, I'll get back on track. I apologize.
Yeah, good grief. I don't know why we get so
So I became an apprentice assistant professional at Santa Barbara Country Club.
Yeah.
I was kind of the junior golf guy, right? So I created this program for Russ Morrison Golf for like kids in Santa Barbara who wouldn't have access to golf. It was a blast. I loved it.
Oh yeah, that sounds similar to the First Tee.
Yeah, it was like the OG First Tee.
First Tee. Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I loved Santa Barbara because I think I told you the story. It was a muni, right? So it was in downtown Santa Barbara. It was a muni. My shift was 5:30 in the morning. Wake up, pull the carts out, blah, 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 answer the phone, do the tee times for the next week on the computer, check everybody in, and then I'd get off at noon. And then walk over to the Mulligan's, the restaurant next door, eat. And then at like 12:30, there'd be a money game.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we'd just go play.
Yes.
Right? So like you work from 5:30 to noon, which is not that hard to do.
No, that's an easy shift. To have,
it sucks to wake up that early.
I mean, that's trash, yeah, right? Because you're up at like 4:15 or whatever. But you have the rest of your day, and in the summertime,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. You could go play 36 holes in the afternoon if you're that kind of player, which I am not. But if you are, you know, that's it.
And it was a muni course. I am not a 36 a day guy.
No, absolutely not.
27 is my max, just because I get a little wobbly after that. But the muni money games weren't like, it was just what I think of in my head as like the perfect example of golf, right? It's like this.
Yeah.
You would get, a house painter. You would get the guy who busses tables at the Four Seasons in Montecito.
Yeah.
You would get like a heart surgeon, right? And then you would get a guy who owns the Subway, the local Subway franchise. Right. Just a beautiful mix of people. Amazingly comical, hilarious characters. And we'd all go play and we'd give each other shit and we'd have a blast. And we were all there together. And so that was it. It was super fun. My wife graduated from photography school and we needed to move because Santa Barbara is
very expensive.
A lot like Healdsburg.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
It's quite expensive. So we were like, we need to get back to the East Coast. Her dad lived in Roswell, suburb of Atlanta. So I interviewed at a job at Country Club of Roswell, which was a kind of a moneyed suburb of Atlanta, Alpharetta, Roswell. Ended up getting the job. So we lived in Midtown Atlanta, and I drove to Roswell every day to this country club. And I'll never forget when I got to that country club. It was like everything I thought golf was was flipped on its head. Right? Because
Well,
here
yeah,
I am
'cause
coming up in
I
a
know
muni,
you're coming from a place where it's everybody.
egalitarian, right?
Yep,
Everyone
absolutely.
is the same.
Everybody's
Everyone
the same.
pays the same.
Everybody, yeah, exactly. And I mean, on that front, I'm sure at the country club, everybody's paying the same price to be part of the club. But to your point, like, not everybody's welcome.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was very exclusive. It was actually it was more like a new money club. But anyway, the point is the level of service changed. It went from being a part of the community to being of service to the community, if that makes sense.
It
right?
does. It does.
So it became like my level of involvement became to better someone's experience, which I understand. It's my job.
Yeah.
Right. It's what they pay me for.
Yep.
But that wasn't my perception of golf. So it beat me down to a point where like it was always Mr. and Mrs. Don't look them in the eye. You know, what can I do for you? It was almost like.
Hold on. Were you actually told not to look the members in the eyes?
Originally, and it was say Mr. and Mrs. on the loudspeaker because I would get on and go like, Smith,
David
Johnson, get up to the
Get up
first
to the
tee.
tee.
And it was like a
Like,
record with scratch. I'm like, no,
Absolutely
you can't
not.
do that.
You can't call them by name.
And so it was, but it was very Southern. You know, it was like it's Georgia. So I think I lasted white knuckled like, I don't know, it doesn't matter, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
You know, held on for 2 years.
Held on. Like...
Christmases were great, don't get me wrong. I mean, Christmases in those kind of places were amazing.
Yes.
It was like, here's
Yeah.
a little something for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
And so
You'd
it was
walk
awesome.
out of every single shift with an
with a
extra
bill.
$700 or something in there.
But after 2 years, I just said, this is,
Crushing your soul.
well, this is not what this is not what I want to do. I want to play.
Yeah.
Right? And I would play in like the PGA events, and it was whatever, once a month, and I sucked, and I would get my what handed to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just said, that's it. I'm done. And I quit. And I had Cleveland staff bags and Cleveland clubs and everything. And friends would come over, I'd just give them the bag.
Yeah.
Like my name on it, all the clubs,
Take
it. I'm done. Like,
I'm out.
Done.
I'm out.
And I went back to school, got a degree in creative writing, which is hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I wrote fiction for a while, and then I built retail stores. So anyway, I took 12 years off. 12 years off. About at year 10, my brother-in-law, who's an amazing, super generous guy, he was taking his friends, or he was going on a boys' trip to Bandon with all of his friends.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, listen, man, we got a spot. I know you haven't really played.
Mm-hmm.
This place is amazing. You're going to love it.
Truly.
So I was like, okay. I went to Golf Mart and bought like everything.
Yeah, because you gave everything
like
away.
Irons, driver, 3-wood.
And let's be really clear, for the earlier part of this conversation when we were talking about you either work in the business because you want to play, or you're paying to play. And for those of us that grew up on a team of some sort and came from no money, we were working so that we could play, so that we could get the things for free. So to have to walk into the Golf Mart and spend $2,000, $2,500 on all of the stuff.
I wasn't even in a position to do that.
No.
I remember I bought like these turd Callaway, like these like Callaway like X series irons with like huge wind grips. And I was like, how much are these? And they're like, oh, they're like $200.
They're $200.
I'm like, sold. I was
Great.
like, what about that driver? They're like, it's an old ping driver with an extra stiff shaft. I was like,
give it.
It'll work. And I remember coming up here with Maui Dave, or remember the guy who used to be from Maui, worked in the shop?
Oh.
I can't remember. He was
anyway.
Yeah. So I came up to this range, because I'm not going to Bandon like sight unseen. You know what I mean? Like with all of these bros who play golf like twice a week at like Olympic Club and shit like that. I'm like, all right, great. So I come up here and I remember hitting balls being like, holy smokes, this has gotten so easy.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because these were like shovels.
Shovels.
Like
They're so
giant
big.
Callaway shovels with
and like the sweet spot is not just on the face, it's like the whole thing.
It's the shaft.
It's the shaft.
You could hit it off the grip 150 yards.
Off the grip.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it was like, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is, I felt like I could be decent at this again, right? Like at that same high level after taking all this time off. Went to band and played okay, but didn't think anything of it. Put it to bed. And then
did you get home and throw those clubs in the garbage?
I put them underneath in some storage, but I still had my college bag. So that I held on to. And I had like the FootJoy Classics. You remember the leather?
With the saddle?
Oh my God, the white saddles.
Yeah, I hate those FootJoy shoes.
They're so heavy.
They're
And then I
terrible,
had like the brown
man.
ones.
Oh, I know. They're terrible.
So I put those in storage and then, again, just got on with life.
Yeah.
Right? And just was like working, doing whatever, living on a ranch up here, taking care of a ranch, growing olives.
Is that when you started cabinet making?
No, that was after.
Okay.
So in 2020,
So hold on, let me back up. When was this trip to Bandon?
probably 2018.
Oh, okay, not that long ago. All right.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
So I played in then and didn't touch club, just was like, okay, I was up on this ranch. And then in 2020, there was a fire that burnt the ranch. So
Oh.
I lost where I lived. I lost my job. I had a wood shop in the
Oh.
barn.
Oh.
So basically, and it was COVID. It
Golly.
was my son's first grade.
Yeah.
And so we kind of lost our ass.
Yeah.
And then that was August of 2020. And so we moved probably 8 times that year. And it was COVID. And so it was the worst possible thing that you could have ever imagined.
Yes. Sounds horrible. Sorry.
And so, and then, so November of that year, basically I said, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. I'm going to go to Club Champion. You know the Club Champion, like that fitting place? It's like this super high-end fitting place that notoriously upcharges everything.
Yeah.
And so I just said, I'm deciding in this moment, after losing everything, I'm going to play golf again.
Okay.
So in 2020, I got fitted, got these clubs from Club Champion, and decided that now I'm going to play golf. And so that was...
Okay, hold on though, because that's really interesting.
Yeah.
To go from my brother-in-law is asking me to come out. Okay, I'll go get some stuff off the rack, and it doesn't matter what it is, I can hit anything. Play abandon, have the time, come back, lose everything in the fire.
Yeah.
Like, what happened from I've lost everything in the fire to like totally changing your outlook on why to come back?
Months went by. I was, we were living in Calistoga. It was one of like the many like Airbnbs,
places
short-term housing.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I ended up getting a job at a fabrication shop in Napa.
Okay.
So I was driving from Calistoga to Napa, and it was like the world was so upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was riddled with anxiety. I couldn't function at home. I couldn't function at work. I was just terrified. And I just wanted to feel like I could be good at something again.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It
right?
does, 100%.
Right? So it was like everything was spinning, and I was just like, well, what can I do that is like insular and gives me space and allows me to be outside and be quiet and be methodical and to try to have like recognizable improvement at something.
Yeah.
Right? Quantifiable.
Yeah.
I'm a data guy. Right?
Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah.
Quantifiable improvement. So
and
that was it.
Well, there's a lot of control in that.
That was the only thing I could control.
It's the only thing you could control, and it was healing for you. Probably healed a lot of things for you.
It helped.
Back.
I mean, it helped.
Yeah.
It gave me so I would just go, I'd be like, I just need to go and hit balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even like, there were times where my wife would be like, do you want to go and hit balls? Like, she could see.
Tell. She could see you having a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
bad.
It was bad.
Yes.
I mean, it was, yeah. So You know, we clawed back, and everyone figures it out at their own rate. Like, there is no... What the hell is that? A deer?
Yep.
Looked like a coyote. Everyone kind of, like, you can't control someone else's, like, comeback or healing or whatever.
Sure.
So we all were figuring it out. We had a rough time. I mean, you know, it was not good. But 3 years later, I think 2023 was where we got an anchor, right? We found a place off West Dry Creek. Things got consistent. I got a good job. Everyone, you know, we were all coming out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I found this, where I was like, you know what? Like, I could join, what is it? Like, I can pay the yearly thing.
Yeah, it's less than $1,000 to be a member here.
For sure. And this, to me, is the best, Taman is the best thing in Healdsburg.
Yeah.
I think finding this place was amazing, because it's such a, like, a lot of people probably didn't even know that this was here.
Okay, when I first moved here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to your point of, like, the experience of being part of this community at this golf course, I won't say it saved my life, but it absolutely shaped me as an adult professional, because it showed me the things that I am naturally drawn to that exist here, which is community, acceptance. It's a little rowdy, which I'm into.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't fit the stereotypical golf whatever.
But here's something great. Neither do you and neither do I.
100%, which is why,
right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, so your experience with being at the private facility in Georgia would have been mine too. It would have killed me, because this is a perfect example of why I would fail miserably at a private facility, because I would get on the loudspeaker and I'd be having a time, you know, I'd either make a joke or I would curse.
Right.
Which is what Sarah's like. She's like, you have to stop cursing online. I'm like, I can't make any promises.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I don't know that I've said one swear in this one, but fuck it. Maybe we just say them all.
That might've been two.
That was, yeah.
There'll be a counter.
But the experience of being at this facility, your experience is why everyone that is here regularly is here. Matt says the same thing. Jonah says, Junior, all of them. And when you said that you feel like it's the best thing in Healdsburg, I do too. And when I first moved here, that's what I was going to tell you, is I can't tell you the number of people that I ran into that had lived here for multiple years and did not even know this golf course was a golf course and that it was here. And for a lot of us that have been here, we're like, man, it's the best kept secret in town, which is pretty cool. It's not now. Like, it's out there. It's grown quite a bit. It's evolved quite a bit.
But I also think that the perception of it is off. Like, I really feel like, I mean, I obviously love to travel and play. I'm old. I've gotten to the point where, like, that's kind of my bucket list. You know, I want to go and play these courses and take them off.
We should go to Rodeo Dunes in Colorado.
I just read about that last night.
I want to go really bad.
I know. And it's just outside of Denver. You could fly into Denver and get there pretty easily.
Yeah, we should do it. I was watching, I started down Scratch Golf's, you know, Eric Underslang, who did the thing about,
Northwood?
Yeah. He was riding a horse up to one of the greens. He was like, the thing about being here at Rodeo Dunes is that you can actually ride your horse on the course. You just can't ride it on the green. So let's get us some stallions and carry our sticks and go. That was so freaking cool.
Because it's brand new.
No, it's brand new. It's just like what Bandon Dunes was. In fact, I think the designers of Rodeo is the same.
It is. It's the same. At the bottom, it said Bandon Dunes. I was looking at their page.
You've seen Sand Dunes also, right? Which is out in Michigan, I think.
Yeah, see, that's even Bandon, which is God's country, has become almost impossible.
It's almost impossible to get on. That's why you got to have Fairway Jesus,
because
you
got to win a lottery. Excuse me, to win a lottery, to win a lottery to get a chance.
Yeah, and if you have somebody in your pocket like Matt Leckwart, who's willing to be your cruise director and put the whole thing together,
like the tea time guy.
He's our guy.
That's like my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
the most
totally.
Generous,
he's just like figures it out.
Generous guy who is like logistics. I'm on it.
But you know what?
I'm not that guy.
This group of guys, the Taman boys, they went last year, and they're not going again until 27. Like, that's how far out the wait is.
Yeah. So
In any case.
Rodeo Dunes is on tap.
Yep.
So what I was saying is that, there are a million courses in the world. Most of them are mediocre. Single digits of them are spectacular and life-changing.
Yeah.
I would say very few of them could you play every day. I feel like I could play this course every day.
Yeah.
And be happy.
And content.
Right?
With the play. Yeah.
And whether that's like a one club challenge or whatever.
You're on. You need to come on and do that.
I know for a fact. So anyway, Junior was telling me about it, and he was like, I'm going to play a 5-wood. And I said, well, basically, he said, I'm going to play a 5. Anyway, we don't have to talk about this now. But I was like, that is the worst idea. Why would you ever? It's a par 3 centric course. What are you going to hit to the par 3s?
That's what we talked about. In fact, he got a 6 on hole 1 with that 5-wood.
Oh, shocking. I wonder.
I mean, of all the people, okay.
It's an 8-iron. It's an 8-iron.
That's okay.
It's an 8-iron.
That's what we're gonna do.
I can hit an 8-iron. I can hit an 8-iron.
Anyways,
an 8-iron. Yeah.
We know the drill here. I have one question before we have to stop, and we're clearly on track for part 2 of this conversation. Okay. Because I've got to go in 9 minutes to teach a class.
I've got a tea time. So I mean, it's not just you who's so important around here.
Busy, but. You started club fitting, but did you start club fitting and cabinet making at the same time?
No, cabinet making. So I had a custom furniture business in Atlanta that I started in 2013.
Was this after you left the club?
Yep.
Okay.
Way after
because that's no joke. Like, you need to have some skills to make cabinets that are plumb, that hang well.
Incredible level of precision and working to like the joke is millimeter 32nd. Anyway, so custom furniture, it also afforded me to be an artist on my own terms and dictate the game, which selfishly is my favorite thing to do. Same. Right? Yeah. They'd be like, can you make this restoration hardware table? And I'd be like, no,
but I can make this.
I can make this. And so it allowed me to kind of call my own shots. And there's nothing better than seeing something in your head and going into your shop and being able to make it.
Yes.
From a standpoint of furniture or whatever it is. So I went to cabinetry as an act of desperation. After the fire, I was at a production shop in Napa, was their woodworking expert, did cabinets and staircases and stuff for them, stuff I'd never wanted to do. I had to move back to Healdsburg. I got a job at a production cabinet shop where I was kind of on track. And after a couple months, I said, I can't do, at least I'm honest, right?
Hey.
It's not for me.
No.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is awful. And so I went to Pengrove and helped a friend of mine start a really high-end cabinet shop where we did like really, really good work. And in March, April of this year, I had an opportunity to go out on my own and get my own shop, and I took it. So
and
now
I've been
I
to
have
that
my own shop.
It is the thing dreams are made of.
It's hilarious.
It's
the turd in the punch bowl is what I say. But
because as an amateur woodworker, being able to walk into your shop, which doubles as a club fitting shop, which is what we're going to talk about in part 2 of this interview, but walking into...
How much time do you have?
I know. Next time you're on, we're only talking club fitting. But walking into that shop...
I bet that doesn't happen.
No, it will not happen because this is how it is with us. But walking into that shop, it's like for the person who's creative and likes to kind of imagine the way things could look or what you could put together, what kind of wood you could mess around with, what kind of shapes you can make, like it is the space. It's the space that all of us that are knuckleheads, when we go on YouTube and we're like, I want to have that. That's what he has. He calls it a turd. I call it a shining star. So
it's a great wood shop. It's a questionable fitting atmosphere. I mean, you're dodging the sliding table saw.
Not to hit this,
It's not. Oh, that's your drink. It's not. It's not the most. Anyway, we're going to improve on our fitting studio because we have a good thing.
Yeah. And I will say this. This is why I was so excited that we started having these conversations in the first place, is because as a golf professional, one that like my sole job is to make it so that people feel comfortable when they go on the golf course, which means I need to make sure they understand how to move the ball.
Right.
So as a priority for me, I am solely focused on movement.
Right.
Their bodies and how they motor the club. And I was just telling Adrian, my new student last night, I said, listen, man, I don't know if you bought these clubs off the rack or if you got fitted for them, but if you did not get fitted for them, we will plateau together as a coach-player relationship because you'll be doing everything I ask and the ball will not do what you want it to do because the clubs are wrong. So in part 2, Clark and I are going to discuss.
We're going to go full club
We're
nerd
going
because that's
nerd.
what I'm a huge club nerd, and you just tolerate me. So that's basically
that's our relationship.
That's right. I love to tinker, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll continue it.
Yeah.
Thanks
for
for having me.
Okay, man. We'll talk soon.
All right.